Okay.
Hey, everybody. Oh, okay. I forgot that that comes up. um, Let me pull that down unless it stops before I get there. Let's see. Remove. Okay. Hey, good to see you, Mom. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing? Are we live?
Yes, we're live. We're live.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello
Welcome,
from
everybody.
Arizona.
Right. Yay. Well, we were having some sound issues, so we were just trial and error basically here too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to hear that, I'm glad to see you here and I'm glad that you've been able to recharge quite a bit. That she sucks the life out of me and us watching on TV and we can shut it off. And so I can't imagine there's no oxygen in the room. It seems.
Uh, I literally was in bed all day Friday. I mean, I was depleted, and I can't even tell you the last time I felt that depleted. But it was from this, I'm sure. It was from this, all these happenings the last 5.5, 6 years, and
Absolutely.
but anyway, yesterday I felt a little better. Today I'm good. I'm
Good.
100% today.
So hopefully you'll leave here a little more recharged and less depleted, because whenever I talk to everyone here in the chat, that's part of the channel and everything, it they just like they fill my cup, you know,
Yeah.
and it gets me to the next time and the next time and the next time. And so I feel like I owe them. I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a glutton for punishment, aren't you? you know, but they're such good people and I know that you appreciate them just as much as I do. So,
I
well, I
do.
mean, what was there anything that you wanted to say to Lori that the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, if you could go
Yes.
back?
The number
Anything?
one thing is quit calling my murdered brother, my my murdered brother, quit calling him my husband. You don't,
Mm,
he is not your husband because you killed him.
mhm,
Yeah, that was the
absolutely.
number one thing.
I think that gets on all our nerves, it's a power play, for
That's exactly
you
what
know
it
she's
is.
using it, right? Because she's a
Huh?
narcissist. It's like
Yeah.
she's using that to not do the distance thing, which, I mean, that's all she's done is dehumanize and distance and, calling him Ned, Garrett, Iplos, just doing all the things to dehumanize and distance herself from, you know, uh, being so close, being, I don't know. It's so weird. It's foreign
Yeah.
a lot of times. It's just, I was surprised that she only had 3 questions for you, and I was like, "Why'd you even bother?"
Well, did you hear? Okay, so when I got off the stand and I walked back to go sit down, Colby was right there, and Laura and Jerry and Susan, and
Yeah.
the front row group, and
Mhm.
they were saying, did you see her shaking? Did you see her shake? I said, no. What are you talking about? They said she was visibly shaking when Trina was questioning you. They said she was, just. And I was
Wow.
like, oh my God. They said she was afraid of you. She was afraid because you could really probably do the most damage. And
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh, that's good." But I said, "What did I say?" I don't even remember what I said on the stand.
I do that with my live stream, so I know to have that level of anticipation. I don't think it was nerves, it was
It
anticipation, I
wasn't.
think.
And so, and Laura pointed out to me yesterday that I was sitting there waiting for her to come up, and I had my hands
"I'm
like
gonna
this in
lean
front of
back."
me, and Laura's she had to fly home that night, but
Oh,
she said
we love Laura.
that was a classic power move. You
It
had control, you had confidence, not arrogance, not nothing out of the, but you were confident that you were gonna say what you could. And I was like, oh wow, because I never hold my hands like that. I mean, I would never.
Right?
I've
Yeah.
done it. I've done it, but
Right.
not. I, I don't know when I've ever done it.
And
In
you
something
did it
this
when she
important.
came up. Yeah, you did it when she came up, I noticed, and I was like, "Look, mom is leaned back." I mean, so you're like, "Come at me, bro." Like, it was just like, "Come on."
I
It ding,
was.
ding, like, I was waiting on, an announcer to come on and just be like, "Ladies and gentlemen," it was just like it was so, um, huge. And, I mean, just from the beginning to now to and I have to say that whenever your testimony ended, of course, the day ended, the court day ended, and we were in chat, like I was playing on the record from Justin Lum. He was recapping and just kind of, you know, I guess replay, just putting things together for us, I mean, because that's really what a lot of this is. But I was like, we were in the chat and it was like the Super Bowl had just been won, or like it was over, like the trial was over. Like there's just, okay, we're done. That's what it
Well,
felt like to me.
that was the best, and I didn't even think about it or realize it, but I read an attorney's comment yesterday that he said, just whenever it was, Friday, he
Mhm.
said, just think that jury went home with that fresh in their minds.
I hope
And
so.
I was like, oh, yeah, that too. I mean, it's just, it I don't know. It just came out,
Mhm.
and I, uh, I knew I could have a little edge because watching Nancy Joe Hancock on
Mhm.
Wednesday, I thought,
Yeah.
oh, she got that in. I can get something in because I'm a rule follower and I would have
Mhm.
never done that. But I mean, I saw she did it and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I can do it. Lori's going to have to object to me. She should have objected to that, but she didn't. She didn't object to the
Yeah.
things that I kept saying. And so, when I said no, and then I said, because you didn't tell me, I just wish I would have been more forceful and mean about it. But anyway,
You're pretty stern, mom. That's why I'm like, okay, you're my mom. So it's like I've seen these
you've seen
those
all my
eyes,
movies.
her forcefulness. I've been on the opposite end of that a lot of times, deservedly, right? And there was a low key. I was like, oh my gosh, you're talking about difficult teenagers. Is she low key like saying I was difficult from experience?
It was
Yeah.
nothing about you because you were a perfect angel.
Yeah, okay. I really was I wasn't bad.
You were. You really
I was
were.
difficult
You
though.
just
I mean, just moody.
the
I still
because
am.
moody. That's the word, moody.
Um, but oh my gosh, like there's so many things that that go through my mind and have gone through my mind. Because I've watched this over. I mean, because we've had a weekend to just kind of go over all this past week, right? Because I always, oh my gosh, I've always felt that I'm so close a lot of times that I don't absorb the things
Yeah.
immediately. It
Yeah,
takes me a
I don't. I have to, like Friday, I had promised Justin I would do that Friday. And so
mhm,
that was, I
mhm,
got out of bed, got dressed, put on a little makeup, and we went to the studio and did that. And then we went to eat and came back, and I just climbed back into bed. I mean, I was just so wiped out. Every day after court, I mean, Monday through every day after court, it's like I'm just completely drained. It just sucks the life out of you, and I don't know how else to explain it other than that. But it's just learning and being in that space and looking at the jurors over there, and
mhm.
and I don't read people. And Larry was asking me the other day. He said, "So what is jury? What are they?" And I was like, don't ask me. Call Laura or call Gigi. Call somebody else, but don't ask me. I don't know. I
Right,
have
that's not what
I
I'm
have
doing.
seen them look at her, and I've seen there's not many people taking notes. So, but then
Yeah,
again, in Idaho, both trials, some of those jurors went into two notebooks. Everybody took notes. Everybody,
wow.
some of those jurors did go into two notebooks, but this is not as complicated as that was. That was very complicated.
Right. I mean, so you know who I do remember out of every, well, of course, I've only seen one jury, but I do remember Tom. I remember Tom, Tom Evans, who was
Hmm.
Lori Vallow's trial, the first trial, I say. But I mean, I remember seeing him, and he was so like he was inquisitive, like he was looking, so I guess it caught my attention, and he was sitting on our kind of on our end, and so I've learned a lot through Tom, actually,
Yeah,
just from a juror's perspective.
right.
And
I've Tom and Laura. I can't pronounce her last name, but she's from Boise. She was here last week, and anyway, tonight we're getting together over at Tom's, just to have a quick little potluck dinner, and
good.
but yeah, I've learned that's they're always the ones I go to. I'm like, as a juror, what would and they're like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. They'll tell me what they think. So they're
Have you thought about this part, Mom? Where okay, so the way that this trial is, it's like a legal gymnastics, it seems. It's legal gymnastics, it seems. And I mean, I have not legal. I have no. I'm like, what? I don't understand it. I've under.
yeah,
I've had to learn quite a bit just from these trials, right? But um, it seems like um, just not being able to say about anything in Idaho, about the kids, about the death of your grandson, about the death of your stepniece, about the death, well, and calling your brother murder
right,
victim
yeah,
instead of a freaking self defense.
yeah.
It seems like they're having to do some maneuver. I mean, like hurdle jumping
It is
just to
difficult.
do this. This is
I
freaking crazy.
I was very concerned that I would say something about Idaho,
Right.
and but and I didn't, but I just was like very self
You
conscious
went
of that.
to the line.
But then I realized that I said that the last time I saw JJ was May 18th, 2019, and
20, yeah.
yeah, 2019,
Yeah,
and
I go back
on
and
the
forth.
17th we had his little seventh birthday at Mr. Gaddy's and in Lake Charles,
Yeah.
and then the 18th he and Charles left, and that's the last time I've ever seen him in person, and so it was I, I know if I'm a juror, I would be thinking, what has happened? There's a big hole in this story, and I would love to know what it is. So, Jerry and I were talking, and he said I would be googling that because it would be driving me nuts. I would have to know, and I'm
You
like,
can't be a
well,
juror then.
okay, don't be doing that. We don't want a mistrial.
Right.
Don't
We don't
don't
want
want a
that.
mistrial. I don't want to do this again. But I did say the other day I wish I had a second chance to a redo for that,
Yeah.
for just because I would just really
Because
I would
because
just go roll right over her. But
if you'd have known how long it was gonna be and what her little, I don't even know
yeah,
why she bothered.
I
I don't,
know
what was the point?
she 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 set herself up for me to just get in there and jab her, you know.
She,
So
yeah,
whatever. That's because she's not a lawyer. A lawyer wouldn't have done that.
exactly. A human being wouldn't have done what she's done.
No, that's true.
A Christian, okay? No, ma'am.
No, she's a
I don't.
translated being.
I know. I call her a translated bee. Is what I call her. Sometimes I call her all kinds of things, but
Yeah.
we've come up with some names over the years,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
But what I was thinking is the jury. Okay, I'm so worried about the jurors when they do learn the truth about what all is this entails, the trail of destruction in Idaho, here, all across multiple states, all these years, and I feel like they're gonna get hit by a Mack truck.
They're gonna be like, oh my God, wait, oh my God, she is evil. But that's I guess part of what they have to,
Yeah,
as a juror, you get
feel bad
picked
for
for a
them.
juror. I mean, I know the jurors, some of them in Idaho, or had to go seek counseling because that was, they saw stuff that, and heard stuff that it is just
Mhm.
disgusting and horrible. So, um, yeah, I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah. I mean, it really, it bothers me. I'm like, "That is so wrong." So because it feels like we the world knows except for them, and I don't know, it's like you kinda wanna be a protection in between them and just be like, "I'm so sorry that this person, you're the defendant here, the convicted defendant, again,
Mm,
it has done, caused all this." It really sucks. The level of impact that this ripples through so many people because of 2
yeah,
people fell in lust, basically. It's
yeah,
disgusting. So,
that it is.
anyways, I'm gonna, there's a question right here from Desert Rain. Thank you, Desert Rain. Where was JJ's service dog Bailey on the morning of July 2019? No one mentions the dog on that morning.
Bailey was in
Oh,
Houston at a boarding place. Lori got Bailey when she went to empty Charles's house for the stuff she wanted out of there,
and it's
like
like, what did
his
you do with
safe,
all that?
like his safe, and just everything personal was taken out of the
Oh,
house. She only left the business stuff that I have. I've had it wrapped up in for two however many years, and
yeah.
I just need to burn it all because it's got a lot of personal information in it. But I've got to I've
Go
got to
through it.
take it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go through it because really
yeah.
I don't think I need to. It's not. It's just business stuff. But again, I don't know what kind of personal stuff might be
Mhm.
shoved in there.
Yeah,
Misfiled. So
could be
I just
photos and
yeah, I just haven't. I just haven't. That's one of the things that I just haven't done yet. So
yeah.
I'll get there.
I mean, we've been through some stuff. This has been
Yeah,
some crazy times. We've had the I mean, just all in itself, you had Lori and Chad. And I mean, it started with Uncle Charles. We think we don't know if it goes back to Joe. I have a strong sinking suspicion that it does. And
yeah,
it there's this window of time when your mom died, my grandmother, Charles's mom, right?
yeah.
Nani, that's what I called her, but she died on March 17th, 2018. And that's just a few weeks before Joe Ryan would be found in advanced
Yeah,
decomposed,
yeah.
uh, body. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I mean, he was
He was
found
found. Yeah.
right. And so, but he had been dead a hot minute now by that time. And so I'm just like, did they wait for Charles? I mean, because I don't, that's not planned, right? You can't plan a death. Uncle Charles left. She decided not to go with him.
Hmm.
Like, ooh, ew. I mean, there's just endless possibilities to what happened there, if
Yeah,
that happened. And I don't put it past her. I really don't. She's the evil person for sure. Very wicked. But I mean, so we saw that Colby was, there to hug you when you got off the stand, and I remember that happening when Colby got off the stand in Idaho when he testified at his mom's trial. And that was really good to see. I'm glad he was there and
yeah,
that you have a support
yeah.
system.
He was like, "You did so good. You did." It was like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just, I would hate to have been a bad witness, but I'm grateful I was a good one. So I'm thankful.
Speaking of
I
good
didn't.
witnesses, oh my God, Nancy Joe, can you be my aunt? You could be my
I
aunt Nancy
know.
Joe, okay? Please.
I haven't talked to her because I was like, well, I'll contact her after I testify, and then we can get together and have dinner or something. And she,
With a pistol.
I still haven't reached out to her yet since I have testified now, but
Yeah,
I'll be in reaching out to her pretty quick. And
good.
um,
Good. I reached out to her. I sent her a message on Instagram. I did. I'm like, "Hey, family, sorry." Just thank you. I
yeah,
thanked her for testifying and for the first time because you hadn't testified yet, but for the first time in all these years, I felt like Uncle Charles was was represented in a big way, because she went toe to toe with evil there, and I mean she stood her ground like none other. She gray rocked the hell out of Lori. She didn't give her
Yeah.
anything, but she gave her just enough to piss her off even more. It was awesome. I mean, and we were here for it. We were.
I
Oof.
truly believe if the judge wouldn't have broke for lunch or break or whatever that was then, she would have sunk herself right there because she had to know that they spoke about her the entire evening. She had to know that, and that was her
Ate her
just
up.
trying to drill down, and it got her, but she had time to regroup, and she did not ask that question when she came back.
No,
I
she
was like,
didn't.
oh,
And I
yeah.
mean, because he was like, "Are you sure you want to open the door to this? You sure?" Because she was about to be like, "Oh man," like
Do you want
the
me to have
Kool-Aid
talk?
Man.
You want me to do a narrative? I
Okay.
would, yeah,
I felt like we were holding Nancy Joe's earrings. Like she was like, "Here you go," and we're like, "Okay, go for it, girl, go for it," because it's like it was great. It was awesome. Just like when you went and testified, we were here. I mean, oh my God, it was just like it come down to this because that's how it started. It started because of what Lori did and what Lori and Chad were trying to do and to escape her and her brother and other people. I'm sorry, I'm not letting them off the hook. That's just me. I'm not my mom. I'm not anybody else. I'm just me. I know what I've researched. I know what I've found, and I know what I've read. Anyway, so I'm glad that they were uncomfortable too. Serena and well, Christina wasn't as uncomfortable. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out that dynamic. But anyways, it was just it's interesting. Do you think we're gonna last much longer with the trial?
I didn't realize. I never asked Trina how many witnesses there are, and there's
We've
I
seen
think
12. There's 21.
21, and I'm number
Mhm.
12. I didn't even
Yeah.
know what witness. I don't. I just
Yeah.
haven't asked, and so I a month. I doubt it, but that's just me. Not knowing anything. Nobody told me anything, and my
It's
cat's
funny.
name is
I'm
Karen.
sorry.
That's funny. Thank you.
I saw someone say that Colby went to the trial to hold Kay's beer, right? We're
Yeah.
holding earrings and beers. Good. Y'all know we're from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Um,
still more
but I don't
class.
know what I was
Still more
saying.
class. I know, I'm sorry. It was good though. But you were talking
That's
about,
a good
you
one.
didn't know how many witnesses and
Oh yeah, and so yeah, Trina, I've never asked her, but we're not. Susan and I are not going to go tomorrow morning. Jerry
okay.
flew home today, and he
Mm,
had to get back to work. But Susan and I are gonna. We're not going in the morning.
I don't
We
blame you.
already told him don't expect us, and so I mean, I guess if it's done, we'll go at after the lunch break. And but yeah, I'm not.
Get
I
food
just
done.
there's no. I don't need to know all those details. It's not good for me to know all that. It just
I
makes
got it.
my mind go somewhere where it really shouldn't. And
Yeah.
I couldn't. I didn't watch JJ's. I didn't watch Tylee's. I just
Okay.
it's just not good for my mental health. So
Hey, I mean,
I
that's
don't need to
something
know.
I've learned that from this is that every family member, every person impacted by this grieves in their own way, and you don't
Yeah,
get to tell anybody how to grieve. So I
yeah,
respect your grief process. This was just mine. I don't know. It felt like I dove in, and I don't know where I'm at. A lot of times, I'm like, how am I way over here, and everybody else is way over there, and I'm like, but wait, y'all, it's like. I'm like, hey, it's still on fire, and everybody's running.
mm,
And I'm just like, but come on, we got to go save these people or something. I don't know. I relate with Uncle Charles a lot in that there is something far more dark and far more sinister going on behind this quote unquote cult. And
yeah,
it's disgusting. And I've learned a lot of things to that nature. And I mean, I've like I said, it's very lonely over here, and I don't want to bombard you or Larry or really, it's really horrible. It's horrible, with what I've learned. Um,
yeah. I mean,
and
there's
it's too
and you
much.
and I have had this conversation. It's too much.
It
I
is.
can't. You have that, and you got that. And so, and
Uh,
I'm proud of you and I'm grateful for you, but I can't even think
mhm,
about knowing more than
right.
a synopsis of it because it's so much.
Yeah.
So
I
much.
found out there's other ways to hold the people in and around Lori and Chad's circle accountable
Hmm.
legally. And that's the route I'm working on right now. And so
Yeah.
I don't know the legalities of it. I don't know, I don't want to go into it too much, but there's a plan. Just know that there's a plan and it's working and it's been working in the background. I'm just now, pulling it together because it's a wide network of associations and organizations that empowered Lori and Chad Daybell and
Yeah.
empowered the people like Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Frankie and connections and just, there's a lot of, I never knew there was something legal that could be done about it. I thought it had to be like, okay, why isn't Melanie Gibb charged? Why is she not at least picking up trash on the side of the road? Why are they just not being held accountable? And it bothers a lot of us. It's not just me.
Yeah,
So
well, it bothers me too, believe
I
me.
know it does. I know. And it especially bothers me about Melanie Gibb because she went up to you and Larry after that, and she's just playing the little church girl. Like, oh, yeah, it's just Lori and Chad. I was praying to Jesus. I was praying to Jesus. And I was like, yeah, you were not. Like, that's not how this goes, lady. And she's in the middle of it all. She is connected to every
Susan,
one of them.
Susan, she's in my AirPods. Hold
Uh-oh.
on. my
Okay,
AirPods
I'll
is
pull
in
you
my
off.
phone.
Here, we'll do this for a little bit. Let
Susan.
me I don't know how to mute her. Let's see. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, and so Aunt Susan's there too. Are you back, Mom? Okay,
Oh
you're
wait.
back. All right. Here you are. Okay. I was just trying to give you the
Um. Okay. I keep picking up my sister's phone call. Can you hang on 1 second, please?
That is weird, yeah. What did she say?
Susan, turn your Bluetooth off.
Uh Sorry, I'm not fast on the horn here. Oh, crap. Okay.
Um. I can't hear you that good, so speak up till she gets
Okay.
off that call.
Aunt Susan, get off the phone. Right? Hey, y'all, my Aunt Susan used to get me to sit in front of our television back in the day. And I had long hair, but it was dark. I had dark, long brown hair. And I was like 5 maybe. And she'd get me to kneel in front of the TV and go, they're here. Like
Yeah,
on
like
Poltergeist.
poltergeist.
Oh my God. I'm like, what the
She did
hell?
that forever. I'm surprised she still doesn't do that today.
I
Hey,
know,
go sit in
right?
front of the TV.
Yeah, it's been funny, but I mean, it's also it's been tragic also to watch my family grow older on the other side of a screen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's been hard to watch you and Larry and other members go through these trials, to go through all this pain. And it's like I want to protect too. Like Uncle Jerry was like, that's my little sister. Like you just want to protect yours, your family, people from the people that are hurting,
Yeah,
you know, intentionally. And she's intentionally hurting people. Like that is, what do you think well, I'm asking you this. So what do you think her whole motive is to this? Like for representing herself? Why do you think Lori is she trying to
because
get justice?
what's she gonna lose? She's got
Right.
nothing left to lose. She wants to
Mhm.
get out there, be in the spotlight for the last time because once she gets done with Brandon's trial, she's
Mhm.
gonna know everybody's gonna forget about her. She'll be obscure up there in Idaho, and nobody will give a damn about her.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, have felt the
She
same
will
way.
be a
And
nobody.
I found out that the last interview she did with AZ family, Brittany, I wanna say her name is,
The
um,
what?
the last interview that Lori did with AZ family, Brittany, I believe is the journalist name. Did you
Okay,
watch
yeah, yeah.
her interview? Okay. After Keith Morrison, right? And then she goes and does that interview. I found out by listening to Brittany, who had done the interview, that the defense team, someone from Lori's defense team, had had like approached her about doing the interview. So I thought that was so weird.
Susan, can you please go in there? I can't hear. Are you on the? Are you off your phone call?
I can't wait to get old, y'all.
Okay,
Brianna,
because it
thank
kept
you.
coming to my AirPods. Okay, all right,
Thank you,
she's off
Brianna.
the phone now. I
Yeah,
can hear
well,
you again.
good. Thank you, Aunt Susan. Thank you.
Okay,
Brianna is her name. I'm sorry. So yeah, thank you, Diane L.
yeah.
Okay, Brianna with AZ Family did that other interview with Lori that they strike you if you even play a little snippet of it. Okay, first off, we all learned that the hard way.
There's a little delay there.
We're like, well, damn. Anyway, so I was shocked to find out that Lori's defense team, someone in Lori, is there a delay? Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Okay. Are we even here right now?
Got my AirPods in.
Aunt Susan, I love you.
God, there's a big delay.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix it.
Shoot.
Thank you, MMF. Good to see you, ladies. Great job putting Lori in her place, Kay. I would love to have you ladies interview Aunt Vicky. She's a hoot, too.
Oh, my gosh.
I know, right?
That
She's
woman
awesome.
is a blast. And you cannot be having... Susan, are you on your phone? No. I've lost my AirPods again. Can you turn your Bluetooth off?
Yeah.
Please? It's in settings.
All right. LOL.
I don't know where it keeps going. Anyway, can say something?
Yeah, I can. Something. Can you hear me? Are we even here? We're experiencing portal
I
problem.
can't hear you. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see something.
I don't know what to do, y'all.
There you are. Okay, now I can hear you again.
Holy Spirit activate, right? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, look, it was the strangest thing. And after my testimony and after we left the courtroom, after we went back into our victims' rooms, it's right there off the courtroom. Trina was in there. It was all of us in there, and somebody said, "Hey, your nose is here's a Susan. I think it was Susan. She gave me a Kleenex. She said your nose is bleeding."
What the
And I was
hell?
like, "What?" So I, I never. I mean, I
know.
have, but it's been very rare,
The
very
climate
rare.
change. That you're right.
I
mean,
know, but I've never
that's
had
weird.
nosebleeds because of
And you've
that.
been there
I've been
before.
here a bunch of times. And
Hmm.
so anyway, when we were on our way home that afternoon, I was saying, "Man, I can't believe my nose started bleeding." And one of the we have escorts, and so one of the escorts said, "Hey, I bet Lori put some voodoo on you."
Right? Look,
Like,
I know, Mom. Look,
oh, maybe she did.
I'm
Who
back
knew?
down from a lot of things that, I used to think were just for fun, whatever, voodoo dolls. Just the bippity, I call it the bippity boppity boo because
Yeah.
they're like bippity boppity boo, right? That's what they were doing is they were, and do I believe in it? No, I really never was like, oh yeah, magic, right? Or
Right.
any of that
Yeah.
weird crap. But she's really into this. She actually, when she when she was extradited from Idaho to Estrella prison there in Arizona, she ordered 3 books. One book was Visions of Glory because she's got to have her copy everywhere she goes, right? By Tom Harrison. Never forget that name. And then she ordered this other book. I don't remember the name of it, but it was we Googled it and everything, and it has to do with a woman who's a witch. Okay, and then the other one was a book that Chad Daybell had published. His name was either Rand Paul or Paul Rand. I don't remember his name, but anyways, it was like The Lion and the Lamb or something like that. And I'm just like, really? Out of all the books you can buy, and you're going to buy one that you've had 80 million copies of already, you're going to buy one about a witch, and but you're saying Christian, like it's like, whoa, you're really mixed up, sister. Obviously.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very evident. So I think we have a mixed up people, whatever. But it just it's really sad. But the voodoo dolls, like, because we were gonna have some of those dolls just, for all of us at home watching it. And every time you're mad at Lori, you can just do whatever the hell you need to do to the doll, right? And then I was
There
like,
wouldn't be a
well,
doll. There wouldn't be a doll left. Just I'd rip the head off right away, and it just don't waste your money.
right. Oh, look, Elaine, she sent 20 pounds. She said, Susan, turn off your Bluetooth. Laugh out loud. That was, thank you. Sorry. Oh, God. Okay. Makes me want to cough when I laugh too hard. Anyways, Salty Sleuth says Kay is a rock star.
Thank
And
you.
then THX says, 1:30. I'm sorry, 11:38 says, I just feel like crying when with you
With you
ladies sitting
ladies
here.
in here. You know,
But
I have to tell you, can I tell this story when I was
yes,
at
you
Crime
can.
Con a couple of years ago? Larry and I were one of the things, because we were there as a not a host,
A
whatever.
guest.
I don't know. They wanted us to be there. And after we did our interview on stage with Nate, we went to this room, and it was a great big room. And they had all these, you know how they cordon off an area so
Yeah.
you can walk through, like at the airport,
A
so there's
maze.
not a mile long line.
Right.
And there was a lot of people, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, all these people are here to see us. And then
Oh, wow.
as each person or a group would come up, when the other person was through talking
Like
to us.
greeting, I guess you could say,
Yes,
right?
yes, meet and greet, yes, that's what it was. And every single person that came up, or one person in every group of 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, that came up, had tears rolling down their face.
Yeah.
And I told Larry, I was like, we make people cry. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It was
Right. It's heavy,
like,
huh?
oh, I'm like, but I know that, but the crying was, and they always said, please let me hug you. And so,
Yeah.
and we got more hugs than I can ever count, and
We've
have
actually
throughout
had
all this. And I'm
yeah,
glad I'm a hugger, because if I wasn't, I
me
would
too.
be now.
Me too. Yeah, I'm a hugger.
So yeah,
But I remember we've had this conversation briefly before, and it's like it's a sort of an inversion, because you're not sad at that moment. You're whatever, you're confronting people, seeing people, meeting people, but they know you and know the story so well. And it's impacted them, their lives with their grandkids, their children. Somewhere, everybody connects somewhere, because there's
yeah,
every element to the story, I believe. And I love hearing about people and how they connect, what grabbed them, and I feel bad too, because it's also like, oh, you know, I feel bad when
yeah.
people
Well, Larry and
connect
I
so
were
well.
like, we wanted to hug them so they would feel better, and
That's
they
what I
wanted
was
to hug
bringing up.
us so we would feel better.
It was kind of like a swapping of roles, where
Yeah,
you're doing the
yeah,
consoling and everybody's it's a little different, but
yeah.
I mean, it's so appreciated, right?
Absolutely. We've met
Was
some
it
really
dry
good
in the
people.
courtroom? I don't quite know, what was it dry in the courtroom, Eliza? Um,
I'm in Arizona,
oh,
it's
dry
dry
weather?
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
We're
dry
from
everywhere. Yeah, but I've been
yeah.
in the courtroom all day, every day since Monday, and I hadn't had a nosebleed. So
Eh,
I just, but
my
I'm
brother
not,
has
believe
these.
me, I'm not
Right.
putting that on Lori. She is not that, no, that
She's not
is, I don't
powerful.
even
She's
think that.
nothing. Right.
No.
If anything, we saw her power when it met your power, and we saw it go,
Yeah.
okay. So if anybody like figuratively exploded, it was Lori, okay? Because she walked away like a little inchworm.
Has anybody seen a picture of her? Okay, if I haven't seen a picture of her, like going back to her seat, and who she
Oh,
talked to, or
yeah.
what she looked like right there. I haven't seen or heard anything about that. And
Oh, you
I don't
have,
know.
okay. I thought you were asking that. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just asking that. Did anybody see anything like that? Because I did not. But
Okay,
I mean,
maybe.
Gigi sees all kind of stuff, and
Oh, well, then that's where you need to go. I
she's
love
the one
Gigi.
that sent me some stuff that afternoon, and she's like, "Girl, look
Mm.
at you mic drop moment," and I'm like, "Huh?"
Wow. I
I
mean,
didn't.
I'm glad
I
they're
had a
there.
mic drop moment. Okay, wow. No, I don't think
Look
I've
at
ever had
you.
one before.
Oh,
Yeah,
mom.
that's a
I
power
want,
move. That's a
I want,
power
yes.
stance right there.
Yes, it's like you're boss, and you're lean back. You look like she did when she walked in the courtroom for the first time in Idaho,
Yeah,
when she was
yeah.
head up, nose up, shoulder back. What is up with her side winding? Okay, of her mouth. Anyways, I've noticed a lot lately. Of course, I've never really seen her on interviews till lately, but she talks with like it looks like she's trying to chew her ear off or something. It's like
I don't. I just see
it's
the back of
weird.
her. I don't. I
That's
only
true.
see her going back to her chair, or when she passes the note back to her
Yeah.
team, or I don't
Her
see all that.
higher.
I don't know.
Well, the judge's face too. I don't know if I have the clip pulled up, but the judge's face afterwards, it was like
I
his mouth.
have it. Somebody sent it.
Let
I
me
don't know.
see.
Somebody sent it
Let
to
me
me,
see.
and I was like, "Oh, how funny!" And
I
I
want to
thought, well,
say
maybe he was just
there it
asleep
is.
or
There it is.
sleepy.
There it is. She had just walked away. Watch. Look, let me
Yeah.
play it real quick.
It was a really great
Oh, Uncle Jerry's
testimony.
talking. Okay.
Because this is about justice.
All right. Now watch his mouth. When Lori's head moves, boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. I mean,
Uh,
it was just one of those moments,
it was.
and it's golden.
Yeah, for
She
sure.
moves, and his mouth says it all, in my opinion.
Well,
He's so good looking, by the way, but
he
whatever. It's not
is.
him.
He's a nice looking man.
He's made for this job, I believe. Do you? I mean,
Uh,
he handles it pretty well.
he has, and I've got nothing but respect for him. He's.
Good.
I really like him. I think he's being fair. I want him to be fair to her.
Mhm.
I don't want any appeals. I don't,
No.
let's do it and get it over with. Be
Right.
done. I'm
Right.
tired of scratching open all these wounds every year for the last 3 Aprils in a row.
I
It's
know.
just ripping off
She
the scab of what it takes a year to put back on because I'm trying to move forward, but
doing a
it'll
good job.
take
I
about,
think you are.
huh?
I think you're doing a great job. I mean, I think so. I'm glad to hear you talking like this. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of telling me also. It's prompting me. It's leading me or teaching me that I need to do the same too. It's not just she's railroaded the last 3 of my birthdays. First off, okay, I just want to go toe to toe with her just for that. But I mean, anyways, I'm ready for her to be done. With
Yeah.
Brandon, I'm sure he deserves his damn justice too.
It
I the only living
it's
victim out of all this.
it starts June 2nd, but I think that might be the jury selection. I don't
Mhm.
know, but I do intend to come back for a few days to be with him
Mhm.
throughout. I got to show my support to him. He's been he and I just immediately bonded throughout when we started figuring out all this stuff when we started talking back in 2019. I mean, what I didn't know he knew, what he didn't know I knew, and it was just, I
A team
mean,
effort.
it was just mind blowing. I mean,
Oh,
we were both our minds were just blown. I don't even know how I had a head left after all this,
right.
but the day that the detective called and he said, "Are you sitting down?" And I was like, "No, but I am right now." And Larry's right here. What you got?
Right.
Alex Cox is dead, and I'm like, what? What? Are you
Man,
serious? Is that real? Yay.
that's crazy. I never knew that's how you found out, or I don't
That is
remember.
how I
So,
found out. And he's,
wow.
yeah, I mean, it was just, he said, I couldn't wait to call you. I had to finish my whatever, and he said, I just couldn't wait to call you. And I'm
I
like,
want you
thank
to tell
you.
I want you to tell people though what you were, I mean, you've said it before, what you were having to do or felt you had to do because they're at large and you don't know who they're going after. And come to find out, you end up being a demon named Rhonda.
Rhonda, of all names. I
Help me,
mean,
Rhonda. Help me. Help
I
me,
just,
Rhonda. Right? Just give you a cool zombie name, damn it.
yeah, like Veronica or Elizabeth.
Oh my gosh. Right. Coming soon. Oh man. So what were you having to do? And that surprised me. It bothered me a great deal when I heard you say this. I don't even remember where you said it, but what were you having to do to protect yourself
Oh,
while
while I didn't know where Alex was,
Alex?
I had carried around a pistol around my house from room to
House
room. I had a great big seamless, probably 6 feet
picture
wide
window.
and probably 3 feet tall, I guess. I don't know for the dimensions,
Your
but
pistol?
anyway,
No.
it's really big,
Her
and
window.
it went out. It looked out at my backyard, and
Mhm,
we didn't have it covered at all because it just was in the backyard. And
mhm.
so, but I was like, Larry, we've got to get this covered. And I don't know why we never did, but even at night,
Yeah.
like I would be up watching TV, I would keep my gun with my pistol with me, and I'd go in the living room, and I would always sneak down up, lay down on the sofa where you couldn't see my head over the top,
Oh,
and I would watch TV that way. I was
oh my
like,
God.
and I have my pistol right there. If he comes out, I'll blow his head off. That would have been a good thing. I think I would have been okay doing
Mm.
that. Just
And then,
saying.
the crazy thing, that pisses me off actually. I mean, it does. It pisses me off even though, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, but that's just so sad too. That is
Yeah,
so
it is.
sad.
It is.
And I mean, the paranoia was strong here, right? Because I mean, you knew way more than I did. I didn't really pry. I would just kind of hear things, and then I'd be like, "Oh shit,"
Well, and
But
I couldn't say everything I was hearing either.
I understand.
I could say some, but not much. I
Yeah,
just,
you said
you know,
enough, and I was listening, right? I was picking up what you were putting down. I'd be outside, like, after the kids would go to sleep, I'd go outside and just to I don't know, just to discharge energy or just to kinda think about things, and I would go to the store around the corner and grab boxes, and I would sit there and tear them, like, rip them, and I would start a fire in my little barrel outside, and I would just be like, "Damn, she is gonna be so hot," whenever she goes to hell is basically what I was thinking, right? Because
hmm
anyway, so there was all that going on, and so Alex was still alive, and I mean, I would duck. When I would see a vehicle, like, going slower than I thought they needed to, and I would just be like, "Oh," so, I mean, when you said you ducked, on the other side of the couch, but I mean, you were all up
I
in
would
it.
just
It didn't
lay
really matter.
low. I mean, used to, I wouldn't have let that kind of stuff bother me,
Yeah.
but my eyes were open
Evidence.
that there is evil in this world, and what you don't think can happen. And it, it Charles was dead at that point. It was just Charles,
Just yeah.
and that we knew of. And so
Right.
it was like, she can kill him. What's to stop her from killing me because I got the money and she's pissed off?
You're
Well,
right.
again, I didn't even have the money then. I mean, it took a long time to get it. Anyway, just saying, it was still, they thought I did. So,
Yeah, it doesn't matter because I mean she's attacking you for something Uncle Charles did. Her husband
and
did.
her five
Okay.
kids she has to raise.
That she never
Five,
had. Was it
five,
just a
which
password, Mom?
I dispelled that too, by the way. 5 kids forever. Bullshit. That's what that
Okay.
was.
Well, then I have to one up you on that, or not one up, but I have to bring this to focus too. Remember the password that was set by Alex? Too
Oh,
many kids.
too many kids. Yes.
So I wish that Trina would put that in her damn closing statement. 5 kids forever to too many kids. So boom, boom. I'm sorry, I just got
Yeah.
chills
Yeah.
because that's crazy. That is
Yeah.
freaking crazy. And it's all about passwords. What the hell? That's weird. it's just weird, odd. Might want to go down all her passwords and just make sure. I mean, wow, she is a dangerous woman.
She is very,
She's a very
very
troubled and
dangerous.
sick woman, and you know, uh, yeah, she's got to deal with that. Her ego needs to break bad. It's nice to watch her mask slip because it's like you need. I feel that that's the only way that you will ever, or anybody can ever get, or these crimes can ever get through to her. What she has done is for her that to shatter. But that's ego. It don't die very
I don't
very easily.
know. I don't know if it'll ever die or not. But
Mm.
the only God knows, and we'll probably never know. So
But
we can only
mom, she
hope for the
says, when
best.
we
And
stand before Jesus, you will find out. And I'm like, girl, I don't think that's how it's going to go down. I don't think that's how it's going to go down. Like
no,
she thinks she's right. If to be, I see her as blaming Tylee all over again. It is disgusting. And just to
it
learn
is.
about the relationship
What
a narcissist has, the dynamics of it all is mind blowing.
whatever she's doing, I don't
Projection.
understand why she's saying, do you understand the relationship between Charles and Tylee was contentious? Well, what does that have to do with Alex
This is her
killing
trying to,
Charles and Lori conspiring to do that? That has
uh,
nothing to do with Tylee.
well, but that's her.
Unless
She has nothing.
she's gonna throw her under the bus. Tylee is who
Mhm.
did it.
To
I don't
her,
know.
right.
I don't know. I
I
don't know.
know it's nonsensical, like Uncle Charles said. She's nonsensical. His wife is gone. She's gone.
Yeah.
That's what he said, and I stand by the words that he said. I do. That's what I do. I hold their words to them accountable. Like I don't know. It's just been my way of like poking holes in their facade. Their whole evil plan, their secret
Yeah.
combination. That's what it is. It's a secret combination in Mormonism. That's what it's called. When you say secret combination to a Mormon, um, they know that to be a Satanist. So I was like, well, that would have been really good to
Really.
know in the beginning because there's Melanie on the stand in Chad's preliminary hearing saying secret combination and writing to Aval 6 page, I want to say, letter to Aval, basically using our family and the victims to prop herself up in some kind of self-righteousness, like I had to be here to experience this. And I'm just like, no, ma'am, nah, nope. You better knock yourself off that pedestal you got yourself exalted on, right? Because that's what's going on. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But anyways, well, I'm glad you came, to visit. You're gonna go and visit Tom and Miss Debbie, right? Tom
Susan.
and
Susan's
Susan.
his
Okay,
wife.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And a few others.
Well,
Gigi will be
good.
there, and I
Oh,
don't know
tell her
who
we
all
said
is going to
hi.
be there.
Tell
So
them we
I
said
found
hi. Yeah, I know it's got to be hard for them to, just they know it.
I,
They
I
know the case.
uh, found some boudin in Arizona,
It
in
was.
Phoenix. I'm bringing it over to Tom's tonight, and Jerry went over there yesterday to pick it up for me, and he was talking to the owner, and he said, "Man," he said, "where do you get this boudin from?" And he said, "It is shipped to me from Scott, Louisiana." And
All
he said,
right.
"There's a store there
Oh, yes.
called The Best Stop." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yes.
yeah, okay. I've
Yes.
eaten their
Oh my
boudin. I'm
God.
very happy. I like their boudin." So, because I was worried that I
You're
once
like, you don't eat boudin outside of Louisiana for
one time
sure.
I tried to find some Cajun smoked sausage here, and I was going to make a gumbo. I didn't bring any with me, so I called around and I found a place. They said they didn't sell it, but I said, "Can I just buy a couple of pounds from y'all?"
Mhm.
And
There you go.
okay, yeah. So I drove, all I don't even know where the place was, but it was a long way, and when I got there, I saw the smoked sausage and
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." I went ahead and
Yes.
bought it because it was like, "Oh, well, I'll just use this. It won't be worth a damn, but okay, it is what it is." So,
Yeah.
that's what I ended up using for the gumbo.
Mm. Cajun smoked sausage. I think
Oh
Vic's
yeah,
text might be from Louisiana. I'm pretty sure. You know how you try
nothing
to figure out.
better, nothing
You
better.
yeah. They say not to eat anybody's gumbo if they live north of I-10. So I live just north. Like I can literally see I-10, you know.
Yeah,
But anyways, my
yeah,
mom makes the best gumbo ever. Like she can do that for a fleet of people. I've seen you make gumbos where she used a oar or a paddle, you know, for
yeah,
a paddle boat or something, and she was
yeah.
outside with the. I mean, it was great. We rolled the big screen TV out there, and I watched LSU get beat
That was
by
fun. That was fun that night.
that was
I
I
enjoyed
cried
that.
that night. It wasn't fun. I mean, yeah, good times, I guess. But oh, it was Alabama that spanked them, and I was just like, oh my god, I cried. But yeah, we rolled the big screen TV out there. She had that oar thing, and she's stirring the gumbo pot. And yeah,
Big
I've
pot.
seen her feed a lot of people this way. So, I
Yeah,
mean, it's little or small, she can make a gumbo. It tastes the same. It's good. And there's nobody else that can touch it. So, that is one of the things that I love to get from my mom.
thank
And look,
you.
allegedly innocent says, you're welcome. Makes me
Yeah,
homesick. Louisiana Saturday night. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
It's been a long time. That's where Uncle Charles is from, y'all. I did talk to Allison not too long after you and Aunt Susan left. And,
mm,
you know, she asked her if she would come on and she would love to. She would love to. She said, so I'm going to have her on soon. She was, I'll let you, I don't want to give too much. So I don't know how to explain her, but she dated Uncle Charles on and
She
off.
was Uncle Charles's girlfriend from the time they were in high school for 2 or 3 years in high school
Sweethearts.
through college, and she went to LSU, and Charles was at McNeese, and
Mhm.
they had broke up a few times, but they got back together, and I
Yeah.
always loved Allison, and honestly, you know, but she went her own way, and he went his, and here we are. He's
Yeah.
alive.
Just
I mean, she's alive, and he's dead. So
gives me chills. And the crazy thing, and I'm gonna try to say this, but cut in. Um, right when Uncle Charles left to go to Arizona that day, July 11th, to go bring JJ to school, he never promised
yeah,
him to go to Burger King. First off, he was going to take him back to the hotel and have breakfast with him. Right?
yeah, yeah,
That's always what I'd heard. But
yeah,
anyways, that's where Lori's grandstanding also and saying, as he promised JJ to bring him to Burger King, so I brought him to Burger King because she was
yeah.
just such a good doting mother, right?
Right.
Only to do what she did. Anyways, it makes no damn sense. But so I'm sorry I derailed there. But okay, so Uncle Charles went to, July 11th, he was murdered. And right around that same time, Allison had um her marriage ended, a long-term marriage had ended, and so she moved how far away from Uncle Charles
Like
did
10
they end up
minutes, I
being?
think she said. Yeah, or 10 miles. It was close. It was in
Oh
Houston is massive.
my
So
yes,
anywhere, 10 miles or 10 minutes, you're not very far from
and
someone.
she didn't know. She didn't know that they had
He
lived in that
didn't know.
vicinity. He didn't know
He did
either.
not know.
She found out after he was murdered, right? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, gives me chills because I'm just like, y'all, if there's anybody that can really bring Uncle Charles to life and
That's
really speak to
Allison.
his character, it's Allison.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed and appreciated being able to talk to her and her openness with it. And I mean, she's processing all this too, I mean, we're all just kind of winging it and but kind of relying on each other in some weird way. I know it's weird,
Mhm.
it's not your normal situation, but so I can't wait to share her with all of you, because I really think that you will really get a good understanding of Uncle Charles, especially in his former, younger years, and
Yes.
why he maybe went the way he went. And because that also, it piques my interest too, how he ended up with someone like Lori and how she would be the death of him. And, you know,
Yeah.
anyways, but we do appreciate you for being here. And I'm so glad and appreciate that you came and shared with us. And Larry's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Larry, right?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to say that. I meant to say that in the beginning, but forgot.
Hey, let me give a shout out to Chuck Huber.
Oh yeah.
That man is a
And
saint. He had been trying to pin Larry down to help us move because our house
you
that
have people
we
contacting y'all and asking if they could help you move. What?
Chuck did, and so
Chuck.
and anyway, before I left to come here, I got all my my clothes, my
Mhm. Oh
stuff
yeah.
out of my drawers and stuff like that. I don't want anybody moving that stuff for me, so
Yeah.
I did move all that before I left, and so it was up to Larry to move, the rest of the
Hmm.
stuff, and not all was packed. It was too
It's
much
just
to do before I
yeah.
left. It was just, I was
Yeah.
like, I'll get it all when we come back.
It'll
We're not
be
in a hurry
here.
to get out
Right.
of our house, so it's no big deal. So anyway, our bedroom furniture is heavy. It's massive. It's solid, and in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
1,000 years it'll still be here. And and so anyway, Chuck nailed Larry down the other day
Right.
and said, "So who are you going to have to help you move?" And Larry said, "Well, I don't remember the conversation. There's Natalie, his sister. Hey,
Hmm.
Natalie." And
Call her back.
anyway, so Chuck and I think his son, and he had a few people with him. And then once they got some stuff over to the new house,
Hmm.
the new remodeled house,
Yeah, y'all,
a
their
couple
house
of our
was
neighbors came over and helped as well. So
oh, that's good.
Larry got our bedroom suite moved. I don't know what else got moved, but they were
Hey, it'll
all
be a
moving
surprise.
yesterday. Ashlyn was there. They were all pitching
Yeah,
in. So,
I'm glad.
but Chuck, nobody wants to help anybody move, right? I don't want to move. I'm not moving again,
I hate moving.
and
I
I
just stay
am
put.
not moving again unless I don't know, maybe, oh, if there's a hurricane and it messes up my house again, I'm moving for good, out of
Mhm.
harm's way. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, Chuck
Hey,
Huber,
that's
thank you
awesome.
very much,
I
and
would
we
stay gone just
appreciate you. You owe you some beer and a big old gumbo when I get home. So you just let
oh,
me
and
know
then call
when.
me. I'll do something. I'll work for food, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, that's awesome. I'm glad. And now Jason showed me a picture of, I guess it was from Facebook. I don't know if Larry sent him the picture or if it was on Facebook, but I'm not seeing your house at all since
Oh,
JJ came in, right? Like it's been years because this was I call it the hurricane house
yeah.
online.
It was
That way
in
people I wouldn't dox it.
August and October 2020. We had two hurricanes. The first one damaged our house pretty badly, and then the second one, I don't think it really did much more damage. But
Oh
so,
yeah,
and then
Katrina. I mean
with
Rita too.
that was on the heels of us finding out that the kids were in Chad's backyard. So I was already paralyzed in grief,
Mhm.
and Larry too, and then I called my insurance company. They were calling every day. Hey, and I was like, look, you have to leave me alone. I cannot deal with this right now. I
Mhm.
will call you when I'm ready to do this. And I wasn't able to handle it until 2020. We moved till 2022, the last part of 22.
Yeah.
And then I had to then I was like, okay, we could start doing it, but then Larry's like, well, I'm gonna hire somebody and we're gonna remodel and
It's
blah
just
blah.
it's a
And
ruckus,
and
right?
I was like, Larry, I can't handle that, the pressure of that. I can't handle that stress. You're gonna have to. This is your project, not mine.
Don't
Just
drag me into this. Yeah.
I'll write the
I
checks.
get it.
I'll pay, but
Mhm.
I cannot be there every day. I'm not going to be there every day. And then,
Just know that going
so
into it. Yeah.
yeah,
You wanna be honest, right? Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I
So,
appreciate
but
that.
finally, 5 years later, we're moving into it. So I'm
It's
moving
nice.
back to it. And so
Right.
I'm really, really grateful. And now we have a room for Ellie because she
Yeah.
hasn't had her own bedroom since she moved
I saw
in.
her
And
bed. I was like,
I know.
wow, it's beautiful.
And so in
Um,
Ashland, I mean, we could have put her in Ashland's room. It's big enough, but she's up and she works
they're
at
different
night and
ages.
college, and
And
she's got different.
she's like
Yeah, it's
9
just
and she's like
she's
19, you know?
no, ma'am. She's 10 as of March the 9th. You
Okay.
better not let her hear you. She's 2 digits now.
Girl,
Two
you
digits.
need to get younger, okay? You just stay there. Holding pattern now because it's on. You'll be 25 paying insurance and everything in no time.
Yeah.
Anyways, can
So
never get younger, but I'm glad. It's good to hear it's some normalcy if there is
yes,
such a thing.
there is. And I
Yeah.
used to remember when it was, but I know one thing years ago I learned to never say I was bored because
No.
I said that one time. I'm like, oh, I'm just bored. And then my husband
Yeah.
was injured in, this was August 31st of
97.
1997. And
I'll
it
never forget
was
that.
horrific. And he was changed for the rest of his life, which he died a little over 2 years later. But anyway, that's a whole different story.
Well, I feel
And
like I can
so I
relate
never
with
say I'm
you.
bored. Never, I'm never bored.
I feel like I can relate with you in that sense because Jason had a stroke
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
a
a
traumatic brain
TBI.
injury.
Did
Traumatic
not
brain
put those 2
injury.
together, and I've learned, because I'm like, "Something's different," like, he's different, like, I don't know if I'm being
No,
extra
he's different.
touchy or
Yeah.
what, and
Yep.
then I was apologizing a lot, and I was like, "Oh my god." It hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was like, his personality has changed. He's
Yes.
not the same Jason,
Nope.
so it's different. I didn't wanna you don't wanna say it all on here, and I say it in little increments, little bursts or whatever because I don't know what to do with it sometimes, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, what am I doing? What's going on? Because,
Yeah.
you don't sign up for that kind of stuff, but it happens, and, I love
Yeah.
him. So I wanna do whatever I have to do. It's just been a lot of what cognitive dissonance, I guess is a good word, just like, oh, it's I don't
Yeah.
know, it's interesting. It's very
It's
interesting,
it's
and it's
very
life.
trying, and it's
It's
not
our
easy,
life.
but
Yeah.
it's okay. It can be handled.
Mhm.
As long as you
Yeah.
can accept it. Accept it. The sooner you accept it, the change and everything, the better off you'll be. Because it took me 2 years before I accepted the situation, and I think it helped me accept the situation a lot sooner because you
Embrace
know
it.
it is what it is, and I
Yeah.
had no control. I can't change it. It is what it is.
Mhm.
So you doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean that you gave up. It just means it is what it is,
Mhm.
and you have to get there and deal with it, and then
Mhm.
you can move
You still
on.
have to go
So
through it. Like
yeah,
you yeah, that's it.
yeah,
That's what when they say that Lori's non-confrontational, I've said the same thing about myself, and I'm like, non-confrontational and then not wanting to just be a human. But like with them, non-confrontational means they're plotting. You best watch
yeah,
what they're doing. Okay, don't ever stop watching, keeping an eye on them. But like, I understand there's certain situations where you're just like, yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather just not even entertain that. But y that's not it. Like, I don't know. It's something. That's a whole nother
yeah.
conversation down the road. But thank y'all so
Okay,
much.
I
I
need to get
appreciate it.
out
I
of
just want
here.
let me share these real quick because I just feel like I need to run through them. This is Chasing a
Yeah.
Murder True Crime. She has dedicated her last years to doing, digging into the deeper aspects of Lori and
Thank
Chad and
you. Thank
those
you.
around them. So
Yeah.
that's Miss Deb. We love her. I watch her still to this day. I love smaller channels. I do. They really do dig in,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. And then Michelle from Facebook. I don't remember the group name. Girl, you have to put it in there. I think it's 50 Shades of Guilty for Lori. I think something like that.
Okay.
But this is Michelle. She also sent a okay, wow, thank you. A super sticker. Thank you, Michelle. And then question
Thank
for
you.
from Bearcat had asked early on. Okay, is there a particular question that you were hoping Lori would ask?
Um, I really no, I didn't really think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I just
not
really
yet.
was I just focused on I really had to keep it in my head. Don't talk about Idaho, don't mention Idaho, don't mention
Mhm.
you're a 3-time convicted murderer in Idaho, I
Should have been on death
so
row. Oh my
yeah,
God.
should have been on death row, but that's, it is what it is. So she's not going anywhere. She's going to be brought out of that prison in a, like Larry said, in a trash
Body bag.
bag.
There you go. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
trash
I
bag.
mean, talk about powerful, right? I
Yeah.
mean, powerful. I mean,
Yes,
for
I
real.
did get to do my house differently. I have taken my house is about 2,200 square feet, and about now what we did was my master bedroom, my primary bedroom is now my master closet.
It's ginormous.
We made the bathroom about 6 times bigger than it was because it was very small. And our new bedroom is the old living room. So we have a whole like third of the house that is the master suite, and it is absolutely to die
That's
for.
awesome.
And
That's
I
awesome.
can't wait to get home and sleep in my new house. I mean, Larry and Ashlyn and Ellie stayed over Friday night. They're staying over there
Yeah.
now. The
They
refrigerator.
had a goal.
I told Larry when that refrigerator moves, then you're officially moving to then you're officially at
I will
at
cook
the
there.
house. And I'm like, but they're there, and they moved the refrigerator, so I can't
Wow. So
wait.
they did this while you're gone. How awesome is that? I hate moving. Oh my God. I'd rather have a
Oh,
staple in
girl.
my eyeball daily than to
There's
move.
plenty left for me to do, I promise you. There's
I'm like,
plenty
no, I'll
left for
just
me to
start
do.
over. I'm good. I'll just
Yeah,
start over. I hate moving,
yeah.
but that's awesome. I actually got to see so that picture that Jason showed me, it was Larry's feet. So he was laying in y'all's bed, I guess.
Yes,
And
looking
and I mean,
at the
I've seen that house
fireplace.
before.
Yeah.
I've seen this is your house, it's your old house. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And then Jason was like, well, no, do you get it? And I was like, I think so. And then he had me look at it again. I was like, oh, I get it now. Like
Yeah.
trying to figure out where you are in the old house,
Right. We put that
The
wood on the
ceiling is
ceiling and the cathedral
beautiful.
ceiling, and Larry put
Wood
a
ceiling.
big
Oh,
old honking fan up
gorgeous.
there, and
With the
our
fireplace, I was like,
yeah,
wow, that's gorgeous. Real good
yeah.
job. Good
I can't
job.
wait to get home and be home. I can't
Relax.
wait. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Elaine says, we all coming for Kay's gumbo. I might take a
Hey,
minute. It might take a minute coming from Scotland.
well, you come on. We'll wait for you.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then Sneaking Suspicion has been a member for 2 months. Thank you. And then Michelle gifted 5 difficult research memberships.
Yeah.
So thank you always for supporting, me and my crazy research, y'all. That's what it's been. And
Thank
Hope
y'all for
Grace, thank you
supporting
so
her.
much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Much appreciated. Never
Okay.
expected, but always appreciated. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna say justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe, and that love always wins, and that
Yes.
everybody here is proof of that, and it's
And
gonna win in the end, y'all. I think
and
so.
thank
But
y'all
what do you think?
for supporting Cresha, and thank y'all for supporting me and Larry and my whole family. We appreciate that. Uh, we really do. You don't think we can feel it, but I promise you,
Mhm.
we feel the support everywhere we are. Hey Chuck.
Mm.
Hey Chuck. Yes, a housewarming gumbo party at my place. No doubt.
Be
Just
there,
give me
be
a
square.
minute. Just give me a minute to get home and let me get a few things squared away.
I
Okay?
want to see the
Thanks.
ore. I want to see with the ore. I don't need a damn refrigerator. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
All
Anyways, all
right.
right. Well,
And
thank
Chuck
y'all
is
so
the
much.
man. Chuck Huber is the man.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yes.
And I got to text Chuck back. Trace on
Yeah.
the case is there on the ground, boots
Yeah.
on the
I
ground.
see her.
Kate gives me a
Yeah.
little wave in court, and she said thanks. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys being here,
Okay.
and we'll see you tomorrow morning, right?
Love you, Cresha.
12 p.m. Love you too, Mom. Tell Aunt Susan too.
Bye.
Bye. Um, okay, I was still talking to her, y'all. Sorry, it's so crazy. But yeah, so court starts a little early tomorrow at 10 a.m. Arizona Pacific time. So that's 11 o'clock Mountain time, and then 12 o'clock Central time, which is where I'm at. And then so that's 1 o'clock oh my gosh, Eastern time, y'all. It sucks. The time changes or the time differences really screw with my head. But we'll see you tomorrow morning. Donna's not going to be here, so I'll be, running. I'll be running it with the moderators and everything, and the Trace on the case will be in the courtroom again, and Mom and Aunt Susan aren't going to be in the courtroom, so nobody freak out. So a much deserved. They can do whatever they want, so I respect it all. But thank y'all so much for being here and for just being such a support system for myself, my parents, my mom, my dad, and my family. It really means the world. So I love this picture in the corner of Uncle Charles right here. It's a good picture. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.